Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of Let's Go for a Drive / Let's Go for a Drive in 360 right here on the Baruch Network. If you didn't know, I'm Baruch and you'll be driving with me like in all the other videos because I'm the only one. So in this edition, or on this drive I should say, I am hungry. So I am headed home to get something to eat. But, like every weekend when I go for a drive, I figure I'll take you all on a ride with me and we can all enjoy the scenery and I can discuss the going-ons in my life or what I've been up to or what I've been doing. So I recently watched Megladon. Not the Meg, but Megladon. Megladon is the B movie, the straight to video, if that term still exists. The cheap version, the knockoff, the let's capitalize on the what's going on in Hollywood version of the Meg. But it seems like they got the rights to the name Megladon first. Even though there is another Megladon, a straight-to-video Megladon movie, I think it was in the 90s. But anyway, this is also a 2018. It actually came out, I believe it was 5 days before The Meg with Jason Statham. So this movie is if it had the budget, it could have potentially been okay. But like most B movies, or like most low-budget, straight-to-video movies, it's pretty bad. But the concept was there. The idea wasn't bad. So in this version, because I haven't seen The Meg yet, I will be watching The Meg. I've seen almost every Jason Statham movie. I'm a fan of his. Even though he plays basically the same character in every movie, no matter what he's doing, I enjoy Jason Statham's movies. So I'm going to be watching The Meg eventually. But in Megladon, it's about a U.S. Navy ship. Well, actually, first it starts off with a Russian submarine that's drilling deep ocean, and they're in, I guess they're in U.S. It's either I believe it's U.S. ocean, right? Or non-Russian allied ocean, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the term. But the Navy, the U.S. Navy has a ship that's out there. They are, I think they're training. I think it's like a training ship or something like that. It's not fully manned or personed ship. Like it's a light crew, like a small crew. Even though it's the full ship, it's like a light crew on the ship. But the Russian submarine is drilling, or they're trying to drill. They drill into the ground. The sound of the drill or the drilling, they don't explain it exactly, but anyway, it gets the attention of the Megladon. It awakens it, or whatever you want to call it. And the Megladon rises. Right? That could be the sequel. Ah, see that? See that? Megladon rises. Anyway, so the Megladon rises from the seabed, or from the... It doesn't seem like they actually drill anything, so I'm not... But anyways, the noise arouses it. It gets up, it attacks the sub, and it chomps down on the back end of the sub, crushing part of it. So there's the captain and his, we'll call it left and right hand people, a woman and a man, the captain, they're all able to escape they're all able to escape the front half, or they lock off the part that gets crushed, I guess, in the submarine. And anyways, they lock off the back half trapping all of the sailors in the back of behind the damaged part of the submarine, trapping all those sailors to their demise. And there's 3 people that are left in the front end of the submarine, the captain and 2 other people, a man and a woman, and they hide in the front of the submarine. The submarine sinks to the bottom of the ocean, and the Megalodon swims away. They're doing some sort of research on the Navy ship, and the engine, when it's running with this research, it sends off this weird tone into the ocean that calls the Megalodon. Or the Megalodon hears it, and for whatever reason, it wants to go after the noise that it's hearing. So the Russian ship, they have the Russian sub, they have a distress beacon. The Navy hears it. They hear the noises from the ship. They send down like a special experimental mini submarine to go see if they can save these people that they hear with the distress beacon, right? So the Meg, on its way to the big ship, comes in contact with the little mini experimental sub. The sub is trying to escape the Meg. They call for help to the big ship, and then the Meg swallows the little mini sub with the 3 U.S. Navy SEAL or U.S. Navy seamen inside of the sub. They get swallowed by the Megalodon. So now the U.S. Navy ship, they want to rescue their people. And before I continue, I missed one part. The mini sub saves the 3 Russians from the submarine. All the other Russians are left to their demise. They're left to go die at the bottom of the ocean. I guess they can't get to them because where the Megalodon bit, it crunched the part of the sub. I guess it flooded with water, or they just say that they're dead. They never explain what happens to them. So only 3 people survive from the submarine. They're inside of the mini submarine. The mini submarine is now swallowed by the Megalodon. So, where should I go? We'll go straight. So now the U.S. Navy want to rescue their people who are now inside of the Megalodon. They don't know if they're alive or not, but there's Morse code. So they use Morse code. It gets out of the Megalodon. It gets to the ship. So the ship knows that they're alive. So they start communicating through Morse code. They decide that they're going to shock the Megalodon so it opens its mouth so they can get their submarine to drive out of the Megalodon. This is somebody wrote this. This is the movie. Somebody wrote this and they thought this would be cool, this would be a good idea. So this is what the movie is about. So they rig up a cable. They attach the cable to the anchor. They attach electricity from the galley, right, from the kitchen. They divert the power from the kitchen to this cable, and they'll turn it on. Their plan is to have the Megalodon come after the anchor. Their submarine will drive out of the Megalodon when it opens its mouth to bite the anchor. When it bites the anchor and they get everybody back on board the ship, they're going to turn on the electricity and they're going to shock the Megalodon. That's their plan. Right? Like I said, I couldn't make this stuff up. Like, this is the movie. So, just like the plan entails, Megalodon opens its mouth, the mini sub drives out, they get onto the ship, everybody gets onto the ship, the Megalodon bites the anchor, starts to swim away, they shock it, right? It goes belly up in the water, everybody's on the ship, and now the movie takes a turn. They're now interrogating the 3 Russian soldiers to figure out what they're doing in American water. I guess, enemy territory, blah, blah, blah. They want to find out what they're doing. The Russians aren't talking. They separate the Russians so they can interrogate them. The Russian captain escapes, gets weapons, kills a few soldiers, goes and gets one of his comrades. Now they're running around the ship with weapons, and the Americans have the one Russian woman. The other 2 Russians are free. New plan now is the shark is awake again. So the new plan is to take the mini submarine. What are these people doing? Take the mini sub, fill it with explosives, send it out into the water, turn it on so the shark will go after it, and then they're gonna blow it up. I guess they watched Jaws. So the Russians that are free, they go and they release the mini sub into the water. They capture they get the captain and somebody else. They get one of the soldiers, and they take the detonator from for the mini sub that they're going to use to blow it up, and they throw it in the water. None of the U.S. soldiers are aware. They somehow get away with all of this, unbeknownst to the U.S. soldiers that all this is going on, and it makes no sense. How do they not know? So now they can't blow up. So the shark now, it's the sub, the mini sub. And now it's, all of a sudden now, the shark is headed for Hawaii. So now they need to stop it before it gets to Hawaii. But their only plan is now gone because of the Russians. So the movie switches back to now Russians versus American soldiers. Big shootout. The Russians are killing off all the U.S. soldiers. I guess they're better soldiers than the U.S. ones because the U.S. ones is a small crew. They're on training or something. Whatever. So the Russians escape. The people believe they jump ship. So they go back to what are they going to do to kill this shark. So the new plan is they're going to rig the ship with explosives. When the shark gets close to the ship, they are only able to rig a detonator that works 20 feet away from the shark. Right? So the plan is to now get the shark, because the shark swallowed the mini sub with the explosives, but they're going to have more explosives in the main ship. They're going to have the shark come close to the main ship. It's got to be 20 feet away. How they're going to know? I guess they're going to look out the window, and they're going to blow the shark up with the remote. That's the plan. But the captain decides the only one to do it is himself, because the captain has to go down with his ship. So they abandon ship. The captain's the only one left on the ship. He's going to blow it up and save Hawaii. And he's going to go down heroically. So while he's waiting for the shark, they turn on the engine. The shark's on its way back to the ship. The Russians are still hiding in the ship. They turn off the engine. And now there's a shootout between the captain and the Russians that are alive. So the captain's right-hand woman, who's on one of the escape boats, she hears gunfire. She jumps into the water, swims over to the boat. The captain and her are fighting against the Russians. They win, but there's still one more Russian left, and he shoots one of the soldiers. So the soldier's like, well, since I'm injured, you guys get off the ship and I'll blow up the shark because I'm gonna die anyway. So they jump ship. They turn the ship back on. The shark comes. So now the shark bites through the ship, and it's face to face with the one soldier who's been shot. Now, I told you, it's a direct-to-video movie. Effects are cheesy. Storylines, But I still watched it. Right? I got through the whole movie. So, the soldier's sitting there smoking a cigarette. The shark bites through the hull of the ship, and now they're face to face, or snout to man. So the man puts a cigarette out on the shark, and then he presses the trigger. He blows the shark up, and he blows up the ship with the shark, killing himself, killing the shark, saving Hawaii. and then they cut to the soldiers that are off on all the escape boats or on the lifeboats, and they see him blow up the ship, and he's a hero. Cuts the credits. Movie's over. So yeah, that's the Megladon 2018. All I have to say is, I need to see The Meg with Jason Statham. I want to see it. Hey, maybe there's going to be some similarities. I don't know. It might have some of the same. Someone might have stole ideas from someone, or they could be completely different. I don't know, but I know one has Jason Statham, and this other one is a low budget. It did have what's his name? Michael Madsen, I think his name is. He was in Kill Bill. He was in it. He's the soldier at the end who sacrifices himself to save Hawaii. So yeah, that's sometimes I feel like watching, movies I've never heard of, the cheap ones, the B movies, the straight to videos, the stream only, the cheap ones, right? And as bad as they are, sometimes they're entertaining. So that was The Meg. So I would I recommend it? If you want cheesy giant shark, let me put it this way. If you've watched Sharknado and you enjoyed it, you might enjoy this one. I've personally watched all 6. Yes, 6 Sharknados. Did I enjoy them? The first 3, I'm not going to lie, I actually enjoyed the first 3. But I'm a completionist. So once I found out that there was going to be... Damn it, should have. Anyway, once I found out there was going to be more, I had to watch them. Because I watched the other ones. They're terrible. This movie was actually better than the last 3 Sharknados. So if you've watched the Sharknados and you enjoyed them, and you just want something to do, low expectations, cheesy, just something to do movie, there's a ton of other movies you can watch ahead of this. There is a ton of TV shows you can watch ahead of this. But, like I said, if you want to see Megladon, not just The Meg, you can, I wouldn't recommend it, but, like I said, something to do, laugh at how bad it is, entertainment, why the hell not? So I'm going to leave this video at that. Megladon. I think it's Michael Madsen. I think it's Michael Madsen? I think so. Alright. But anyways, thank you for watching another edition of Let's Go for a Drive, right here on Baruch Nation. I hope you all have a great day.